We are used to the Detroit Lions being cheated in Green Bay, and today was no different. You guys know I believe in NFL storylines and narratives, and the Detroit Lions' time has come, but it hasn't always been like that. But the Detroit Lions, we had to get to a point where we could overcome the referees. We all know. We seen it last year in Dallas. I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm a strong believer in it. But I told you guys last year, I told you at the end of the 2022 season, when we were purposely kept out of the playoffs, that the time was yet, it was not our time, that our time was coming. And that time is now. But we've seen enough nonsense in Green Bay. And now after our third consecutive win in Lambeau Field, they tried to take it away from us, tried to make it close early on by ejecting Brian Branch after a hit that he placed on a wide receiver. We've seen that play. We've seen that multiple times throughout the season, and we've seen it today. Brian Branch was ejected. There was another individual between the Carolina Panthers and New Orleans Saints. Hit was placed on Chris Olave. That defender didn't get ejected. We're going to take a look at that right now. Or after this, the initial tweet that we're going to bring in. We're going to bring in what the senior vice president of officiating, Perry Farrell, said about the hit that Brian Branch placed. Here's the question. Question. On the penalty on Brian Branch, is that an automatic ejection? Answer. Not automatic. We reviewed all the angles, and we clearly felt that he had time and space to make a different choice, as the act was a flagrant foul, and he clearly had the opportunity to avoid the head and neck area. Question. So, is that something that's decided on the field or in concert with you in New York? I don't understand why people have to use these phrases. That simply means in conjunction or a joint decision. Answer. In concert. We had a flag on the field, and so we had consultation with the crew on the field as well as us here in New York. So this is the people in New York speaking. Question. One last thing. He made what looked like a doubled middle finger gesture, but it was after the ejection, and there was no other additional discipline on the field for that at that point. Answer. No, there was not. Not by our on-the-field officials, no. Okay, so, but I remember him being penalized for it because it was 2 penalties on one play. And I was wondering, how can you get eject or a penalty after you've been ejected? Well, at that point, whatever you do should be kind of mute at that point. Okay, but that could be subject to something later on. That could be through compliance. Yes. Blah, 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 blah. So Brian Branch, I would have liked Brian to look what he was doing because, yes, the receiver did not have the football. It was long gone. But at that time, Brian had already committed. He had already committed to the play, put the hit on him. And it did look bad from different angles. It looked worse from different angles. Nevertheless, he was ejected. I think it was whack. It just was. It just was. You think they're going to let us in the rain, the Detroit Lions, a team that, no doubt, fan bases and the mainstream media are all getting behind. On the day that Jerry Jones loses as well, his 3rd straight for the Dallas Cowboys, that they're just gonna get no. They're going to make things difficult. Expect a Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl, and it'd be some questionable flags in there, and we're gonna overcome that. That's how that's gonna go. But don't listen. I was the first one to tell you that. Okay, we're gonna look at this play from the Saints-Panthers game. And Chris Olave is going to get hit. All right? Now, let me play this. It's going to be in 0.25 speed. Nope. It was supposed to be in 0.25 speed. Hold on. Let me see something. Because I need you guys to see it. 0.25 speed here. Okay? So watch at the top of the screen, Chris Olave running the route. Derek Carr is going to throw the football. Okay. Now Chris Olave right there. All right. The ball is gone. Look at the defender. He's looking right at Chris Olave. Hold on. Let me pull my tool out. I need my tool because this is ridiculous. This is how you know, man. They trying to stop us. They literally are trying to stop us. Okay. This is the defender that's going to get called for the hit. This is Chris Olave. That is 5 yards. Here is the ball. Okay, let's continue. Look at what happened. You mean to tell me that he couldn't pull up? Destroys Chris. His head literally gets crunched in between two defenders. Out cold. He's out cold, not moving. And this chump number 25, he too busy, like he didn't know a flag was coming in. Now they realize that the dude still ain't moved. All right, so if you're following, let's go back. And this is vicious, man. It really is. But let me just be very clear. So here, the ball is gone. This dude here, you mean to tell me he didn't have time to pull up? And okay, let's say he didn't. He didn't have time to pull up. He finished the game, and Brian Branch was ejected. This, in my opinion, was worse. This play was worse than what happened to Brian Branch. Look at this. Look at that. Ball ain't no. And you mean to tell me that this clown, he don't see this? He don't see it? Come on, man. Now, for him, I would even put him more at blame than Brian. Brian has to look up. He's looking at the ball. He's looking at the receiver. He knows when he launches, he doesn't have the football. Stop playing, bro. Look at this. And you can see when the play is over that he looking like he did something. He get up. He was about to start flexing till he saw that flag come in. Ridiculous. Chris Olave still ain't moved. And this clown, this guy got to finish the game. But our dude was ejected. And then, like I said, I remember an extra 15 yards being tacked on for, they said personal foul or whatever, but I remember them on the broadcast saying it was 2 penalties because he got an unsportsmanlike. They said it was personal foul, but so it could have just been 1. I don't know. I thought I heard 2. So the NFL thought that hit Brian Branch's warranted an ejection, but this one didn't. They tried to take the game from us. Every time we played the Green Bay Packers, it's the same thing. If you go back to last year, remember last year, week 4, Brian Branch got hurt that game, and they let the play clock run the game clock. It was the end of the third quarter. They let it run all the way down to 000. It was well beyond that, and then let them snap the ball. It resulted in a huge play, and I think it was on Kendall Vildor. How ironic is that? Huge play, 40, 50 yards, somewhere around there. The Lions weren't even playing because they thought the quarter was over. They almost came back. Listen, there is no secret. But guess what, though? Our team is finally built strong enough to overcome the refs and the NFL narrative. We are part of that narrative now, but they're going to make it interesting. This game here, Packers go to 7-2. Lions would have dropped to 6-2. Packers would have now jumped the Lions. They would have moved to first. And I got to look and see what they would have been. But I think that the Lions would have dropped down to 5th. It would have either been the Commanders or the Lions in the first seed. Then, the Commanders or the Packers would have been the first seed. The Commanders or the Packers would have been the second seed. And the Lions would have dropped down to 5. But this is before the Eagles won, so I don't even know. I think the Commanders got a better record than the Eagles. Lions overcame. Trust me, the NFL narrative still favors the Detroit Lions. It still does. But they're not going to make it easy, especially against the Green Bay Packers. So, no other team this happens to. Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. It doesn't happen with the Bears. It doesn't happen with the Vikings. It happens with the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, 2 teams that we seem to play every year. But, of course, the Packers, we play them twice. Let me know what you think, man. Brian Branch, I think he's going to get a nice little talking to. It was good to see so many leaders on the team stepping up today. You know, I know I've been giving Aaron Glenn a hard time, but it was great to see him bring these young fellas in. And listen, relax. Amik Robertson, relax. Bring him in. It was good to see Kirby Joseph. I've seen this several times this season, him getting in the way of Carlton Davis, of Amik. It's good to see Jack Campbell saw it today. It's good to see these young men, man, being leaders. Let me know your thoughts, man. And this mug is a way, way, way. I forgot to play the sound bite. Way, way, way late. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're seeing this in the morning, I appreciate you. Expect a lot to happen in Detroit Lions land today, all right? This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Listen, we winning the whole thing this year. The whole thing. This was just obvious and blatant.